So, hello friends, and welcome. Today, actually, our class is not speaking, but I'm going to present some important information about uh, Middle East Technical University. So the point is that we've been offering some courses for the preparation schools in different universities in Turkey for too long. And as all of you know, the Middle East Technical University in Ankara is somehow the best university in Turkey, or maybe one of the best out of three, I would say. Every year, there are many students that want to apply and enter the university, but um, entering that university is a bit complicated. Students are trying to apply for some exams like IELTS, TOEFL, if they can score well, if they can meet the target, so they can enter university. Otherwise, they have to take some preparation course. And there is one preparation exam as well. In Turkish, you call it Hazirlik Atlama exam, something like this. I'm not sure if I just read it completely. Just a moment. Yes. Yeah, Hazirlik Atlama Sinavi, something like this. Let me just see it through the screen. No. Okay. Just put it here. Yes. See. And our chat, our shows here. Good. So, friends, of course, you're allowed to talk. You're allowed to speak. If you have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, I will tell you everything about the exam and how it's gonna be about this preparation exam. Let's just have a little chat together and then I will start. How are you, Ridwan?
I'm perfect, Professor. How about you?
Sorry, I don't
Do you
have your
hear
voice.
me?
Yeah, I hear you now. How are you?
I'm perfect. What about you?
Fine, thank you. Why your voice is not clear?
Maybe I'm using headphones because now I'm turning them off and then try to speak again. So
No problem. It's okay. It's okay. Good. Thank you. How are you, Ayse? Ayse? Do you hear my voice? I suppose no. Do you understand what I say? Ayse? Ayşe? No? So, it's okay. Let's see. I will explain everything about the exam very fast. If more friends join, they can of course listen. Otherwise, we'll share this video on our YouTube page so you can follow it there. So if I want to introduce the exam, I would say that, this exam is a preparation school, as I told you, preparation exam for the first, of course, before entering the university. Today, I'm going to give you a complete overview of the Middle East Technical University, and also they call it SFL, English Proficiency Examination. Also, in Turkish, you say Hazirlik Atlama exam or something. I don't know. My Turkish is not that good. This exam is very important for the students who want to start their undergraduate or even graduate programs. Because without spending a year in English preparation, if you pass this exam, you don't join the preparation course, preparation school. But if you can't pass the exam, you have to take a year that they call it preparation year. Now I will explain each part of the exam carefully and give you some tips and also show you how you can manage your time during the exam. Okay, now let's begin. if I want to tell you, if I want to give you an overview of the exam, this exam has 4 parts. We have listening comprehension, and also careful reading and note-taking and writing. And I'm sorry, just a moment. Okay, no problem. Note-taking and writing, and what did I say again? I forgot it. So the exam has 4 parts. We have listening comprehension, careful reading, note-taking and writing, and also we have independent writing. And the whole exam is held in only one session, and it's gonna last for 165 minutes or something. And it will be, of course, around 2 hours and 45 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 45 minutes. So in the listening comprehension part, the listening comprehension part will have 30 points for you, and it's gonna take 40 minutes. And the careful reading part gonna have 40 points, and it's gonna take 70 minutes. And also the note-taking and writing part gonna have 10 points, and it will take 25 minutes. And finally, the independent writing has 20 points, and it's gonna take 30 minutes. And of course, there is no penalties for the wrong answers. So this is a very, very important key point, that you have to answer all the questions. All the questions. Do not let any question go empty. You know, just answer all of them, because there's no penalty, okay? And some exams, as you know, if you just have the wrong answer, you will get some negative point or penalty. But here, no. So with the listening comprehension that I told you, it's gonna take 40 minutes. In this part, you will hear about 8 or 9 audio recordings. There will be 4 short talks, and each of them will take around 1 minute, and 1 or 2 conversations that around altogether around 4 minutes. And finally, you will have 3 lectures. For each of them, you will have around 5 minutes for those lectures. I will just explain them again, so in detail. And you will answer 20 multiple choice questions, of course, based on what you hear in those listening part. This part is the listening comprehension, and you have to be a bit careful about that. And you know what is tested there? The understanding here, the understanding of the main idea, and along with the details of the text that you're going to hear, is going to test it. And also, you're going to recognize the speaker's attitude, or even the speaker's point of view. And sometimes you're going to understand the implied meaning of the speaker there. And also the identifying relationships, which are some cause and effects, you know, or even some of them are problem solutions. You're going to identify them, identify the relationships between them. If I want to give you some tips on this part, because, you know, I'm sorry. Where is it? Okay. So if I want to give some tips on how to work on this part, if you can take notes or whatever, you can just listen carefully. It's best if you focus on the main idea, not just small words. Do not waste your time on the small words, and try to always take small notes. You know, there are some keywords in the listening part that you have to take note, and those keywords are really important. And also some numbers that are going to give you some important information, because, you know, keywords and numbers are always important in the listening part. And try to always be careful about the tone of the speaking. Is it happy, angry, serious, or sarcastic? These are gonna help you with it. I cannot, you know, we don't have that much time to explain much more in detail, but these are the things that I could just, you know, tell you very briefly. For the second part, when we get to the careful reading part, it's gonna take 70 minutes, and in this part you will read 4 long passages. And in each passage, you will have around 1,000 words in each passage. They're going to be so long. And there are 24 comprehension questions. And also there are 8 to 10, I suppose 8, if I'm not mistaken, 8 vocabulary questions, okay? 24 comprehension questions and 8 vocabulary questions that you're going to answer them. And this part is a bit tricky and complicated. And the skills that they are going to test in this part, you're going to find out the main idea and also the supporting details of each paragraph, each text, each, let's say, idea that you're going to face or encounter. And also you're going to understand the writer's attitude and tone. These writer's attitude and tone is the most complicated part, because in some of the questions or statements, you are going to understand the writer's attitude and choose the correct statements or answer. And also you have to recognize the cause and effect and cause and effect relationships. And finally, you will understand the academic vocabularies. The most, not the most important one, but the exam is academic, and you're going to understand, you're going to recognize them. All the academic vocabularies, they're really important. So the point is, for reading, you know, there are some different, let's say, skills or techniques if you want to work on this part. I would say this is a bit, it's a bit cliche, but most of the instructors always say scheming and scanning. I'm not a fan of that, really. Scheming and scanning is not going to work for all the students. But there are some other great strategies. And of course, unfortunately, I cannot explain them here because I have to get some papers. I mean, the real exam, it can be ICE or TOEFL or even these kind of preparation exams, so proficiency exams. And then on the exam, I can teach you all the strategies in detail, especially in reading part, because reading is really complicated. So, you know, first, let's say, try to take a look at the passage, especially on the first paragraph, and then go through the questions and try to understand the questions and the statements that you're going to answer them. And then you have to read the text carefully in order to find the answers to the questions or statements. So again, here, I just wanted to remind you, remember, no penalty. There's no penalty for wrong answers, okay? Always mark answers, all of them, mark them. Don't leave any answer empty. It's really important. And the next part that you're going to see in your exam is note taking and writing. In this part is somehow a bit, you know, resembles the TOEFL exam. And also TOEFL exam will we have the we call it integrated part. So you're going to listen to a piece of audio file, and then you're going to take some notes, and you will have another statements or question or something, or sometimes you will have a short paragraph, and you know, you're going to integrate both together and write a summary of about 150 words. That short lecture will take 5 minutes. You're going to listen for 5 minutes to a lecture, and you will just take notes while listening. Is really important. You have to take notes, and then you would write a summary of about 150 words. So there's some important points here. You are allowed only to use the lecture information. No more information is allowed to add, okay? You are not going to add any more info. You understand what I mean? It's really important to just write down whatever you hear from that lecture. Do not add your opinions. You're not allowed to do that. And try to organize your text clearly, really. You know, I cannot teach you writing here because we don't have that much time. And but the writing frame and structure is obvious. So there is one introduction, and then we have bodies or main points, and finally conclusion. So always follow this frame. First, write your introduction in the first paragraph, but not too long. And you should keep the balance. Do not over exaggerate, and also do not leave it empty. I mean that try to be clear enough, and try to write long enough for the first introduction. And then body is the place that you're going to explain everything. Again, do not add your opinion. It must be fact, you know, factually you should write your writing. And then conclusion is also more or less the same as introduction. And that's it. And try to use the sequencers. You know, there are some words like first. I'm just giving you some points for the body in order to organize your writing better. Like, you know, we have some sequencing words like first, another point, and next, after this stage is done, then, just these words, the words like this. So it organizes your writing, okay? And also use conjunctions and linking words are really important, like although, however, nevertheless, whereas, and some more, you know that. And also, you can use some short symbols or, let's say, arrows in your notes in order to just make it clear and better for yourself to understand, okay? Do your best while listening to the lecture to take notes, and do your best. Take all the keywords that you need and make a great mind mapping and be ready for that short writing, okay? It's really short, 150 words is nothing. For the next part, you have the independent writing. Independent writing is going to take 30 minutes. And in this part, you're going to write an essay of around 200 words, even more. So it's a bit different from IELTS or TOEFL essay, because in IELTS and TOEFL, you're going to write for over 250 words. But here, 200 words is enough, or over 200, but not less than that, okay? And also, you're going to answer some questions based on a situation. The questions are, of course, the topic, I mean. So, for example, let's say two improvements for the cafeteria, or two features of a healthy city, or whatever. So in your writing, as you know, you will have an introduction and then bodies. It can be two clear body paragraphs with examples or even more. No worries. But it's up to you how to handle and organize your bodies. It's really important. And also, you will have a short conclusion. That conclusion, as I said, is more or less same as introduction, but you have to paraphrase it and be careful not to repeat any structure or words. And if I want to give you some tips here for that, you know, for writing, always try to plan your ideas. You know, before starting to write, always try to plan your ideas for 2 or 3 minutes. Try to have a great brain mapping, or we say brainstorming, mind mapping, and look, use the linking words always. It's really important. Use them, friends. Linking words and conjunctions are really important. As I told you, we have some sequencing words like first, then, next, after that, and blah, blah, blah. And also linking words like however, although, therefore, and conjunctions, but also additionally, in addition, adverbs. Use them. They're really important, really, really important, okay? And the final point is always write clear. Always write clear. If you write simple and clear and easy to understand, is much better than writing very complex sentences with, let's say, complex and advanced grammar, but difficult to understand. As an examiner, if I read one of your sentences twice to understand what you say, you're done. I just omit it. That's it. You know, I have to read and follow your sentences smoothly. If I get back to write your sentence twice, done. So try to write simple, clear, crystal clear, okay? And they're easy to follow. Just use a very smooth language, okay? Try not to be so much complex. Of course, you have to use some advanced grammar and complex sentences or structures, but simplicity is really important. That complex means advanced grammar. It doesn't mean that to write some sentences which are confusing or not easy to understand, not easy to follow. You got it? Complex here means advanced grammar, like participles, present participles, past participles. You have to use them. They're really important. Relative clauses, conjunctions, how to structure your sentences and everything that you're using, okay? So complex means advanced, tongue, not complex, confusing. Complex doesn't mean confusing here. So always be simple. Simplifying is really important, okay? And so I already explained everything about the exam. And you know, if you want to, of course, if you're planning to take the exam or you want to learn everything in detail, you can just join us or contact me so we can have some other types of lessons for that. Because, you know, preparation exam, proficiency exam is not something that we can handle in only 1 hour or half an hour or something like this. It takes a longer time, much longer. And not try not to lose time. You know, time is really important here. If I want to talk about the scoring and results of the exam here, as far as I know, listening and reading parts are scored by computer because all of them are multiple choices, and some machines, they're already machinized, and machines are going to scan them and score you. Writing parts are scored by two, of course, raters. I hope they're experienced. Mostly they are, but sometimes, you know, some may not. And sometimes for some of the papers, as I heard, if needed, let's say, rarely or occasionally, a third grader may review your paper as well. And also you can just, you know, go online on the websites to check exactly how they rate the papers. And on exam days, there are some rules that you have to take them all in consideration. Be careful about them. The important reminders is, you know, always to have your official ID with a photo with yourself, like passport, ID card, or driver's license, and some IDs like this. And try to always have your pencils and eraser because it's much easier with, it's much easier when you're working with your own stuff, you know, you're used to them. And in the exam time, always before entering the exam, turn off your phone completely. Do not put it on air mode. Turn it off completely. It's really, I highly recommend you do that. And the other point, always listen carefully to the exam, to the instructions. You know, there are some proctors that instruct you in the exam. Always listen to them carefully because there's something that you may think that you know that. Of course, almost all of you have studied before the exam, and some teachers, instructors give you everything. But when you go there, you see that the instructors there, they instruct you to do something that you haven't heard, okay? If you break any of these rules, your exam can be canceled. It's really important. Okay, don't forget that. And for the final tips, and also to some extent, motivations, I want to finish with some quick advice. So friends, always sleep well the night before the exam. Sleep well, okay? Don't do anything. Don't study. If you can go out with your friends, have a cup of tea or coffee or something, and then have a great sleep, and trust yourself, trust your preparation. If you have done well, trust it. Do not doubt on yourself, okay? You already have the knowledge and you have done what you could. So trust yourself and don't stress out. It's really important. Manage your time carefully in each section. In the exam, one of the most important part is one of the most important skill is how to manage your time. Managing your time will give you the feeling of, you know, ease. You can do your exam if you can manage your time properly. And also staying calm and focused. Don't panic if one question seems difficult. There's nothing to be panic. Okay, just skip it, no problem. If you can answer, do it. If you think that you need more time for, let's say, a minute or two, and then finally you can answer the question, okay, do it. If not, if you understand that this question is not your type, okay, just pick up an answer and just skip, go on. Do not leave any question unanswered, okay? Answer it, but don't waste your time and do not panic, okay? And finally, again, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. These exams are not about perfect English. Really, they're not about perfect English. They're only about practical academic English. They're about understanding, writing, summarizing, and thinking clearly. So if you can understand, write, summarize, and think clearly, that's enough. Okay? You're not going to be a perfect native speaker. Okay? So trust yourself, believe in yourself, and be sure that you can do it. It's really important. I suppose that I have told you almost everything about this exam. And is there anything that you need to ask me I'm ready to answer. If not, our session is over with the preparation for this exam. I suppose that everything was smooth, fluent, and clear. Yes, friends? Good. So thank you so much. And our session is over for today. Let me just do this. I'm sorry. Yes. Yes, Ridwan, thank you so much for your patience and everything.
You're welcome. Anything. I'm sorry. Sorry, I have no question, and I don't want to bother with
No, it's
my.
totally fine.
I don't have any chance to get any this capability test. Thanks for your nice proper advice.
Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome.
So much, Ridwan. Sorry that today our time is over almost. We won't be able to have any speaking part, but for tomorrow we'll have speaking. Okay?
Hopefully. See
Thank
you.
you so much. See you. See you tomorrow.
Bye bye.
Bye.